Saquon Barkley, he ran for over 1,300 rushing yards. He had 10 touchdowns. And we know what he did in the passing game for the New York Giants. And we know what Saquon means to the New York Giants franchise. Okay, when you think of the New York Giants, the first player that probably comes to mind is Saquon Barkley. This dude is a beast. And he wants $16 million a year. You know, nothing crazy, just a Christian McCaffrey like deal. And I think he is deserving of that kind of money. He is the most talented running back in the NFL when he is healthy. And when you push back against that and you say, well, JT, he has a extensive injury history. Does he really? He missed all of 2020 due to that injury that he sustained. He came back in 2021. He played in 13 games. And although he wasn't himself, sometimes it takes a player a year to completely bounce back from their injury when they return. Saquon Barkley this season was arguably one of the best running backs or the best running back in the NFL. And if you take into account the situation that Christian McCaffrey had with a better offensive line, imagine Saquon Barkley running behind the offensive line of the San Francisco 49ers. Saquon Barkley, if you take him off the New York Giants playoff team, well, the team that just made the playoffs this year, right? You take him off that team, do they make the playoffs? Who are the other weapons that the New York Giants have other than Saquon? You have Darius Slayton, Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, Daniel Jones. Do the Giants make it to the postseason without Saquon? I don't think they do. Reportedly, the New York Giants during their bye week offered Saquon Barkley a $12 million extension, and he turned it down. Of course, New York Giants fans are going to say, well, he should have took that. That was a team-friendly deal. He has a history of injuries. And even if you do have concerns with injuries, I mean, this is a world that we live in that is, what have you done for me lately? And what Saquon has done lately is play like arguably the best running back in the NFL. He's the most talented running back in the NFL if we're just going off pure talent, athleticism, and skill set. Who is the other running back in the league who rivals Saquon Barkley in skills? Probably Christian McCaffrey. That's about it. You look at the highest paid running backs in the league right now, Christian McCaffrey, he's making $16 million. And right behind him is Ezekiel Elliott. And right there, if you're the New York Giants, your contract negotiations automatically start at $15 million. That's what Ezekiel Elliott's making, and Saquon Barkley is way better than Zeke. And even if you want to say, JT, that's a bad contract, okay, Alvin Kamara, he's making $15 million a year. Even though Saquon is better than Alvin Kamara, there isn't a huge gap between those players. There is a gap, but it's not as big as a gap between Saquon and Ezekiel Elliott. But even then, Saquon should be making more than Alvin Kamara. So wherever the contract negotiations begin, it should start at $15 million if you're Saquon, and then you work your way up. Dalvin Cook is getting $12.6 million. Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, those group of running backs are getting $12 million or around that. Saquon Barkley getting an offer at $12 million. I understand, or I get why the Giants front office would first start off at that number. That's where the majority of the elite running backs are getting paid. But Saquon Barkley has a way more versatile skill set than those running backs making $12 million a year. Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon, they don't have the skill set that Saquon does. Let's not also forget that Saquon Barkley, like Christian McCaffrey, is one of the freakiest running backs in the league. He is the key to a championship team. If the New York Giants don't want to pay him, I'm pretty sure there are other teams that would be more than willing to pay Saquon Barkley. You put Saquon Barkley on the Buffalo Bills, that's dangerous. Him and Josh Allen in that backfield, and then with the Buffalo Bills, they improve that offensive line. They may have the most talented offense in the league. And another argument that people might use to push against Saquon Barkley getting paid what he wants is, well, JT, he's a running back. Running backs have a short lifespan. They're easily replaceable. You are right about that. But Saquon Barkley is an exception. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. These guys are so talented at the running back position that they're good enough to have an impact that could get you over the hump. These are missing championship pieces. If the 49ers never trade for Christian McCaffrey, do they still make it to the NFC Conference Championship game? Saquon Barkley, even though he's a running back, I don't think you can equate his value to the traditional value of a running back. And even then, there are plenty of running backs who are still doing fine after getting contract extensions. There's this misconception that once you pay a running back or you give him a contract extension, he turns into Ezekiel Elliott. That's not true. The majority of the best running backs in the league right now all have contract extensions. Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon. All those guys are playing with new contracts. None of those guys are playing on their rookie deals. So this narrative that people continue to push for why you shouldn't pay a running back because he's unreliable, there are plenty of running backs right now that are producing on new contracts. There are plenty of running backs in the past that have produced on new contracts. Hall of Fame caliber running backs have produced on new contracts. Saquon Barkley wants $16 million a year. He should get that. Saquon Barkley is arguably the most talented back in the league. The only back that you can make the argument for being as talented or more talented than Saquon is CMC. So even if the New York Giants don't want to reset the market, that might be a reason why they may be hesitant. They don't want to reset the market and severely overpay and not be able to address other positions. But even then, when it comes down to paying Saquon Barkley, I think that he is the best player on the New York Giants roster. He's a focal point of that offense. I think he should be our priority. I think that he should get whatever he wants. That, find a way to make it reasonable, find a way to make it team friendly. You don't tell a player to make their deal team friendly. That's not their job. It's the people who's giving him the deal to find a way to make it team friendly and to find a way to make it so they can have cap space to sign other players. At the end of the day, Saquon Barkley is worth being the highest paid running back in the league. Well, JT, we got to pay Daniel Jones. If it comes down to Saquon or Daniel Jones, I'm paying Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is arguably the best running back in the league. Daniel Jones is, based off his performance this season, I'll say he's a top 15 quarterback. I won't say he's top 17 or top 20. I think based on what he did this year, he played at the top 15 level. But at the end of the day, though, you can find other top 15 worthy quarterbacks. You could replace Daniel Jones with Derek Carr and may not even notice, outside of Derek Carr not having the same athleticism that Daniel Jones has, and you lose that element in the run game. But I'm pretty sure you can find some replacements for Daniel Jones with Brian Dable being as good as a offensive mind as what he is. He'll elevate that quarterback. Saquon Barkley, I think he should be our priority. He wants $16 million a year. Allegedly, the Giants offered him $12 million. He turned that down. So what do you guys think about the ongoing contract negotiations between Saquon and the New York Giants? Let me know down in the comment section down below.